This is twin flame runner pain, the divine masculine perspective from a woman who hears about it a lot from my husband, who's a man. So I'm gonna share both what I've heard from the men out there, my partner especially, and also what I've learned as a woman who has been run from by multiple men, and I never thought it would happen with my husband now, because we were twin flames and I worked through a lot of pain, and still we had a separation and successfully got through it. It's the first separation that I successfully got through when I was in love with someone. Prior to that, every time I'd fallen in love and things had gotten into a separation, it obviously didn't work out, and it came with a lot of pain. So I think every person, every woman, man, anybody who's pursuing the twin flame union, which is the union of your divine feminine, divine masculine energy coming together at the heart. It could be with your physicalized twin flame, or it could be an expression of love in your business. It could be an expression of love with the child you already have. So twin flame energy really is in everything. And if you are looking for a monogamous partnership or primary partner who really fulfills you in your relationship space, here are some things that I think will be really helpful for you, especially you ladies out there who have been heartbroken by guys over and over again, because I get it. And by the way, I'm going to share some tips at the end. COVID has been hitting Bali hardcore. We've had like a month-long little, like a lot of my friends and friends of friends have been getting hit by bugs, and I just wanted to share at the end, total side note, but I have gotten to the other side of a pretty long period of what I think was COVID, and I want to share how I did that naturally. So that's just like a little fun bonus, has nothing to do with this topic except for it's all about the heart chakra. So okay, I'm gonna go dive really deep real quick. So ladies and beautiful beloveds of all backgrounds, okay, so if you have called in a runner, it's gonna bring up pain, unless, you know, for some reason, yeah, it's probably going to bring up a lot of pain. And so the best thing you could do is, instead of bury the pain, marry the pain. So in our culture, we have a lot of, you know, it's glamorous to have a perfect life all the time. And I hear it all the time from women that attend our women's gatherings at Aphrodite University, who dive in really deep. It's like we find out that we all are struggling with the same pain in silence together, alone. And what's really important is to feel nurtured in your own emotional body, especially as women, especially as holders of the feminine energy. The feminine flame gets so relaxed, peaceful, watery, and magical again when she can feel understood. And if she's in pain, alone, sitting there thinking there's something wrong with her, feeling like she's the only one like this, feeling like there's something that she's done to deserve this, then what can happen is she starts to fester in this emotional soup, and before we know it, we get like a massive global pandemic of putrefaction, of imbalance. And so I think we're actually going in a positive direction, because I think of disease as it's energy that potentially could be coming out. So I believe we're coming out of a long period, like thousands of years of emotional stagnation. And the best thing that we can do is feel our fear, feel our shame, feel our grief. And instead of burying it, marrying it. And what I mean by that is really embracing it. Talking about our pain. I'm not talking about calling up the person that's avoiding you and trying to talk their ear off and be like, fix my pain. I'm not saying that. I'm saying taking responsibility for our pain, feeling it, healing it. And a lot of times, especially with women, we need to come together and talk about our feelings. Men, they do it a little bit differently in general. Now, every man is different. We have some very, very feminine men, however you identify. But in general, kind of like a cookie cutter rule that doesn't really apply to everyone, but is helpful, is women get together, moon together, wine together. I mean, like wine, like maybe wine and dine, but I mean like cry together, feel to heal, hug each other, see each other, taking responsibility. It's not like a big cry fest just to like project pain in a circle and just muck it up. And I have been to those disempowering women's gatherings. I would say disempowering, where women stagnate. They're there at the beginning of the year complaining about the same problems, and they close the circle a year later and they're still in the same problem. So we don't want that. We don't want to fester in our pain. My point is, are we putting out there on social media? I'm great, everything is fine, I don't have any pain, I don't have any problems. And I get it. I mean, I was not feeling called to inspire people, to let people know that I had 20 years, nearly 20 years of severe chronic pain, migraines that would come and hammer me for 3 days. I'd be vomiting, I'd have to use medication. And you know me, I'm super holistic, don't like to put a single non-organic food in my body. And yet the pain was so severe. And it wasn't until I embraced this and shared it with the world and shared my shame and came out of my closet, as I've had a botched surgery that created these infections, and hormone imbalance has been an issue for me since I was a competitive athlete. And when I finally shared about it, and I didn't mask who I was, I shared about it with my sisters. I would come to circles when I had my migraines and pain, and I would cry and, you know, just be in the muck. And then I could receive love, and people didn't judge me like I thought they would. I thought they would say, wow, you're so weak, there's something wrong with you. Instead, they were like, Amanda, you've created a successful business, you're a successful counselor, you're a high priestess, and you've still been getting hammered by dark energy and you haven't given up. Like, that's so cool. And I was like, wow, thank you for seeing it that way. And I resonated with it. It wasn't like they were making it up. So can you marry your emotions by sharing them and receiving different perspectives and coming out of shame? And by the way, it was then that I decided to hire a mentor who I worked with for over 3 months, and I have significantly reduced my menstrual migraines. I haven't had a full-fledged migraine period episode since working with him. And I continue to improve the process and love my body and learn so much. And I've had many months where I didn't have a migraine. So, woohoo! So, that's the thing. First step. Can you marry your emotions instead of bury them so that they can turn into something really juicy? Shame is what creates the pain. Hiding it, darkening it, creates more of that rot, the putrefaction before you know it. You know, we had that pandemic, so hopefully that's behind us. And I'm still getting over the effects of long-term COVID. And I feel like it was really an important process for me, and I healed it much more rapidly because I was able to ask for help. I was able to talk about it. I was able to get incredible support and call it in. Whereas in the past, I'd be like, you know, maybe I should just wait a little bit longer and see how this goes. All right, so the second thing is, if you have your person and you're just feeling so heartbroken because they don't want to fully show up for you, they're running, maybe these boots are made for walking and they're kind of walking over you emotionally, or you're feeling like they're avoiding you and it's like intentionally maybe to hurt you. Well, it's really easy to want to project our pain onto them, but don't. Here's why. Everything's a hologram, and whatever pain you're feeling, they're feeling it too. And it doesn't help to project it back to them and say, like, it's your job to heal me, because they're probably gonna have that same mirror either with you or with someone else and be like, you need to heal me. And before we know it, we're in this world, this hologram, where everybody's like, you need to heal me, and we need some like big cure to cure this epidemic, and we need something outside of ourselves. But instead, if we call back our energy and we're like, all right, I got this, I can do this, this is really painful, I need my soul family and support, but it's not up to them, and it's not up to one person to make me feel better. Now, raise your hand if you're guilty of having the thought, if only my twin flame were to come back and not run, then I would be fine. And if only they would behave and be kind, then all my problems would go away. Well, I have been there, and it is really intense to give your power away. But the thing is, the reason we do this is we were conditioned to do this as children. We were raised to be not sovereign, to be suppressed, to be in pain, to be indoctrinated with other people's beliefs, so we would submit to a higher power. We have to hire power at some place or church or something. And there's nothing wrong with hiring support. We have programs at Aphrodite University that teach women how to heal themselves, that support women, that are like midwifery school. Like, it's like a school to midwife yourself and rebirth yourself. So there's nothing wrong with hiring a healer, just like if you need to hire a midwife to support a child that you've conceived to be born orgasmically. I had an orgasmic birth and hired my orgasmic birth coach, Deborah Pascali Bonaro, who made my birth so amazing. So there's nothing wrong with paying someone or hiring someone or getting help. But it's when we give our power away, and it's when we maybe in a past life went to a church and said, you know what, like, I'm not good enough, I don't know who I am, and so I have to give everything to you. A lot of times our ancestors did this only because they had someone knock on the door that had a sword that said, convert or die, what do you choose? And then we ended up having to suppress our pain and feelings and emotions. So a lot of times, I see this is really bizarre, but a lot of times the divine masculine runner pain is still residue from generations past where humanity suffered at the expense of an organization, an elite order, monarchs, kings coming in and marrying off the daughters, or creating wars with mass trauma and rape and weaponizing authoritarian dictatorship, which should have been positive, loving forces in organizations. So unfortunately, we're living in a world where we often give our power to the wrong person or place or thing, and we're disconnected from our power. And part of that is because of many generations of systematic abuse that we're not even aware of. And it's really hard to be aware of it unless you start to study in a broader perspective and you start to look as the logos, as the divine consciousness in our galaxy, in our collective subconscious. If we're just looking at ourselves, we're like, why doesn't he call me back? Why doesn't he text me? And it's like, well, is this maybe your great grandmother's rape trauma, or your adoption in your family that happened, or a miscarriage that happened before you were born, and all this grief is in the womb, and it's pulling into a greater pain of the divine feminine, of the garbage is in the ocean, and the cancer that's going on, and the abuse of big pharma and all this stuff. And then you're just like, no, that's not it. I just want him to call me back. I want him to say yes. I want him to give me the ring back because he took it away. That was me. Sister, you are so freaking powerful. I have to be reminded of that like all day long, because it's so easy to be in this world being mind controlled, to believe that we're nothing. We have these voices. Where do they come from? You're not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You got to Botox. You got to get fitter. You got to make more money. You got to have more people on Instagram. You got to get on this platform now. And you got to go and dance like this. And you got to be pretty like this. And you got to, oh my God, the list just goes on. And it is garbage. It is garbage in our bodies. It's holding the toxins in our holographic bodies and in our holographic Gaia. And it's spreading out to the cosmos. And we need our angels out there, out far into the cosmos to stay pure so that we can be pure here. So let's start to give ourselves those divine downloads, those DNA upgrades from our clarity, bliss, and peace. So the divine masculine to me really symbolizes that like stamp of approval of like, bless you, child, you are safe, everything is good. So if he's not calling you back, if your dude, your person in your divine masculine energy is like appearing, seemingly running off somewhere, maybe with some beautiful girl who's younger and hotter and richer and smarter, and like this happened to me, and hell yeah, that means your divine masculine is done abandoning you for the real you. He's going for an illusion. And that's a part of your divine masculine that you don't want anymore. Hello, healthy separation. Can you love yourself when some BS, some bullshit has shifted out there and he's chasing tail and he's marrying someone else? Can you love yourself even more? Can you feel that power? That is yes. That is when you turn hell into a hell yes. Give it to me, baby. Give me God. Give me the pain. I want it because I want to talk about it. I want to feel it. I want to transmute it. And I'm not sitting here, this pretty little girl, crossing her fingers, hoping that it'll come back. And maybe if I just flat iron my hair, I need some keratin treatment. Let me get rid of all the grays. Then he'll come back. You know what? Maybe I should get a full facelift and jab some cow bovine growth, whatever it is, hormones into my head, and risk my health just so I don't get left in my deathbed alone. No, if you want your Notebook story, which Jack and I were talking about how we both loved the Notebook and we watched it before we met. We were like, we want a Notebook to inflame. That's like, to me, that's real love. To have that love in you, that even when some illusion is running away, to have your beloved in your deathbed, in your space, in this peaceful, solid, strong, loving way. Yes, it requires not burying the feelings, not projecting that it's his job to heal you, but owning that sovereignty. You are the one. You are the one. There's no one that can give you that permission slip. I can tell you, I can talk about, hopefully it resonates with you. But goddess, God, king, queen, that is you. And yeah, you did start out as a little tiny molecule, a sperm and an egg. And before that, you were just like an atom, an idea, an ether. You were tiny. And that's fine. Don't feel ashamed of your tininess. We were all really tiny. We all started out as little tiny universes. And we raise into beyond the galaxy, beyond the solar system, the galaxy, like we're all the universe too. And don't have low self-esteem as the universe that you are, because yeah, the universe is kind of weird. I'm sorry. Like, don't feel bad, but we're in this kind of weird reality, and the universe did create this, and like, it is the divine creator, and like, can you give him some love? God, you know, I wouldn't create this if I were you, but I am you, and I did create this, so maybe I should love and accept this reality and get over the fact that it's not perfect, and get over the fact that we've had this weird pandemic, and that we've had global collapse that's been coming and things are going to get weirder. And now we have Fox News saying that yes, the alien reports are real, that there are pilots being shot down that are not from human origin. I don't know if you know about that, but it's exciting news for me. My husband and I have been watching, we've been connecting to the stars for some time now, and we've been learning about these secret space organizations, programs, and it's refreshing to us to know that people are waking up. They're like, we're not the only ones here. And that's why whenever you do plant medicine journey, you're like, hey, there are aliens and stuff like on our planet, and we're only like, we think we're the only ones that are here, but we're not, and our government has been organized. And you know, I think it's time for some disclosure. So I'm gonna disclose and share, and my channel has already been so censored. I don't know, like, I used to have thousands of views on videos, and at some point I almost stopped wanting to do videos because clearly, like, censorship is real and it's been really hurtful. You hurt my feelings, YouTube or whatever dark force, but it's a part of myself too, because everything's a hologram, right? Like, my own divine masculine has a dark side that's like, you must rise above the dark, toxic, masculine, authoritarian, dictator, cabal crap, because if you really think you're spirit and sovereign, then you have to prove it to me. I'm like, okay, I'm just really scared right now. I just don't want to make videos anymore. It's not worth it. I just want to like kind of get off this planet. It's getting a little weird. I've had those thoughts myself, but it's all a mirror of me. And so I guess I'll just wrap up this flowing video. I ride with the divine feminine, so even though this video is about what to do when your divine masculine runs and like the divine masculine perspective, basically just take responsibility, also get support, get help, feel to heal, don't run, don't bury, just marry your feelings, marry the process, accept it, love it, and you know, when he comes back, if it's him or another divine masculine version of yourself, they're coming back because it's such a sovereign, sacred, beautiful space that you've created for yourself. And that is freaking sexy. So I'm gonna give you the bonus of, I probably should be more, this is not professional advice. I'm not a doctor in any medical capacity. I have a doctorate in transpersonal counseling and metaphysics. And medicine was something I dropped out of at Duke University. Freshman year, I was like, I can't do organic chemistry. Who am I kidding? I hate chemistry. I like sexual chemistry, baby. But the way that I feel is so important if you have like effects from all this COVID stuff is like really to use your intuition. Use it in any capacity in medical system, in alternative medical systems. Again, I'm not a doctor, consult your doctor, of course. But like what really worked for me is not going into fear and just like listening every day. Like, what do I need to do? Taking lots of time for rest. I feel like sometimes epidemics are like the universe telling us, dude, you haven't rested enough. So you don't need an excuse. You don't need to get sick next time. I'm telling myself this. You do not need to get sick next time, just to take a nice deep rest. And deep rest sometimes is that area in the heart where we are depressed if we have something like a lung issue, a heart issue, which, you know, COVID and respiratory infections are. I was coughing up, guys. I was coughing up a lung. It was kind of scary. It was kind of intense. You can still hear my voice. I'm not totally through the woods yet. The funny thing is I had like completely normal energy. Like I could go like pretty much, I could like go and work out. I could do my morning yoga. It was just like my lungs are off, and it felt very much like a manufactured virus. gross to me. That's what it felt like. So I'm just gonna say, yeah, I mean, before this whole plan of Demia, I had dreams about it coming, and like I didn't know what it was. It was just like this like really weird Chinese looking like electronic digital electric blue virus that was attacking my family. And it was like this came out of our basement and it flew out into the world, and I was like, oh shit, this is not good. And later on I found out why it was in our basement, but I won't go into that yet because it's a little too scary to share it. But anyways, shamanism is really trippy when you start having dreams and they come out in the real world, and then it's connected to like big world events. So that's part of why I feel like I can really take responsibility and own why my channel has suffered over the last few years, and maybe why you felt like, where did Amanda go? Like, she was so inspiring. Like somebody posted, and I love the energy of it. It was such a, like, I didn't take it in any way, but like I'm feeling support. But they're like, come on, Amanda, where's your like magic, your pleasure, your pussy power? And I was like, I know. Well, I've been under like pretty serious psychic attack, and I'm going to be doing some videos about that. It was really scary. I started having premonitions and dreams about like murder and death happening, and they kind of did happen at the same time with the people that either they died or they had some weird health thing or some traumatic birth, like my daughter and myself. And like I went into a seizure and was bleeding, and a couple hours after my daughter was born, and had this out-of-body death experience. And so yeah, I just want to name that I've had a lot of like stepping into my power to the next level while also getting hit by the next initiation of like, what? Like, and part of me has just been like, I don't want to be here anymore. This is not fun. This is not the high priestess like path initiation that I came to earth for. This is like next level. It was like too much. So I'm sharing this because it goes into healing the heart, healing what's on our heart, sharing our emotions. Part of my process with COVID was like calling up sisters and talking about like, here's what's I didn't get off my chest. I'm sharing like on my channel like what's been on my chest. It's like I've been freaking scared of sharing my truth because I've been scared that I will die. And that's really been sad, because like, you know, it's scary when your livelihood and your life relies on a channel to speak, and then you feel like you're being censored, and then like all of a sudden, you know what, I know the algorithms have changed and there's way more people out there, but like I've seen it happen to so many of the people I follow too. Like they're getting censored and shut off, and it's been really sad to not be able to speak fully and not feel safe to speak fully. And I think that's why I lost my voice, and like, you know, was having so much stuff come up this month is like, I don't want to be here if I can't speak anymore. Like, this isn't fun, and it's hard to be a high priestess. Like, I've been initiated in Gnostically into a lineage, and also been in several mystery schools, and like it's hard to be like, I'm a priestess, you know, like people think you're batshit crazy because like, what's that? And I don't even know, like I'm tapping into some ancient Egyptian, Atlantean, Lemurian, Aphrodisian mystery school. I'm in like another realm, and I'm also here now, and I'm getting these downloads, and it's like, what, when you go through your spiritual awakening, you're like, what the heck is going on? Like, here I am, here and now. I think it's, you know, like, I think this is what's happening. That's my twin flame, or like, this is a mystery school that I'm supposed to be birthing. And it's really weird because you could have so many different kind of false layers of, that was just energy. That wasn't actually the timeline. Like, I thought my twin flame was not my twin flame. I thought my false twin flame was my twin flame. Things are really reversed, but the energy brought me into healing myself. Like, I got really immersed in these experiences. So It's kind of crazy to be here on the planet right now. It's not easy, and I feel like I'm going through sort of a suppressed initiation myself, where I went through so much in a couple of short years, and I think we all did. I think we all went through so much in the pandemic and pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, like this. But it's been going on. It's been going on, the awakening experience. It's been going on for a long time for a lot of us. I started waking up kind of back in 2000, and like not even having language for it. It's very confusing. So that's why I'm doing my best to put together a global mystery school, Aphrodite University. It's my dream, it's my vision. It's been around for around 12 years. It's hit some major snags and resurrected itself multiple times. It's something I'm so passionate about, and I just haven't learned how to market, to support it, to grow it, to fulfill it. It's really a big vision, and it's gotta completely come from light. No greed, no selfishness. It showed me it does not work like that, and it has to be for the souls who are ready. So it's still a vision, it's still a dream. And why am I talking about this? I just love talking. I love flowing with the feminine, but I do want to share that 2, 3, 4 like herbs, things I used for like healing myself, where like my lungs were like so wet and gooey that they were like making clapping, wheezing sounds, like Darth Vader with like a little more of like a sponge kind of sound in there, and just being like, whoa, that's not good, that's not normal. Is a couple of healers that I work with have had really good results with these things. So like, I guess we're allowed to share about it. Like, these are what other people are using that they say are getting good luck, like is good results. Is that allowed? Are we allowed to share that, or should we like keep quiet? I don't know. Well, I'm just gonna do what I feel is good, and I'm asking Archangel Michael to protect. So it is an herb called Sambiloto, and I think you can get it in the US. It's like everywhere here in Bali. It's just like a very, very bitter green herb. Sambiloto, Sambiloto. And also Tino, Tino spora, Spora. It's like basically it's known as a natural antibiotic, and the combination of those has like been like super good at clearing like this epidemic that's happening right now of like the sea stuff, and then also this like stomach bug that's been bothering people. So I just wanted to like pass that along, is like that's what I've heard, and like I've had good luck with it. I think it's always really good to have some of doTERRA's like it's not what is it called? It's Thieves with the Young Living brand, and then doTERRA is the On Guard. Like, I don't leave home without that stuff. I bring it on the airplane. I put like a drop in my water and drink it. Like, I will rub it with some massage oil and like put it in different places where I feel like the infection has been there or is there, and put it on anything that looks like there might be a rat. You know, like in Bali, there's lots of fungal infections and bacteria and parasites and stuff. So it's just like very good, like natural, topical, and internal antimicrobial, like from my perspective, as what's worked for me. And then the last thing has just been yeah, like getting things off my chest, sharing my emotions, and seeing what is the need behind it. And so I was like, I need support. I need to call the acupuncturist. I need to talk about it. I need to call my family. I need to not be ashamed. Like, sometimes in my family, people worry about me getting sick because they're like, oh, you know, like, you're out in Bali, the healthcare isn't as good. And I've just been very grateful to express, like, I don't need to protect you. I want to call my mom and be like, Mom, I'm not feeling so great. And my mom's like, okay, now she can handle it. So before I used to hide it because I didn't want to worry her, and now she's like, oh, sweetie, you'll be fine. Like, I know I'm gonna make a prayer for you. So that feels really good. So yeah, is there anywhere where you're like not leaning into your soul families for support? Can you have a conversation about it? Gosh, I'm not gonna edit any of this video. I'm so tired of editing. I love sharing my like what's on my heart. So if you appreciated any of it, I really appreciate your thumbs up, your comments, sharing. If you have anybody in your life that is going through like long-term like infections, just know that there are natural ways to treat it, and find your good like trusted healthcare practitioners, like maybe before you like jump into the system that I don't know. I've had some really hard times. I've gotten very, very sick from the mainstream system, and don't think anybody's perfect. So follow your intuition. Okay. All right. So I digressed a little bit. Hopefully you got an activation from your divine masculine, divine feminine flowing all over the place. I love you guys. Namaste. Namasko.